Okay, so now I'm going to use the power of right triangle trig to help me find unknown sides given an angle and a side. So it tells me my angle of interest because it gives me that angle of 20 degrees. For that, I got to identify pieces. So I know across from my angle is the opposite, and across from the right angle is my hypotenuse. So now I have opposite and the hypotenuse. So I got to remember some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. So I'm going to use the sine. So I know the sine of 20 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is x over 15. So to solve for x, I times both sides by 15. I go and plug that in a calculator, 15 sine 20, and I get 5.13. So x is equal to 5.13. So my next one, here I have 10 degrees, so that's my angle of interest. So y is my hypotenuse, and for that 12 touches it, so it's the adjacent. So I'm going to be using my cosine because it uses adjacent and hypotenuse. So I know the cosine of 10 degrees is equal to my adjacent, which is 12 over my hypotenuse. Well, to solve for my hypotenuse, I'm going to get y out of the bottom. So I get y times the cosine of 10 is equal to 12. To solve for the cosine, I divide both sides by the cosine of 10. So y is equal to 12 divided by the cosine of 10 degrees, which is equal to, come back, plug and chug, 12 divided by the cosine of 10 degrees, close it, and I get 12.185. So for this one, I'm given 18 degrees. It wants us to find x and y. So across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. Across from my angle is my opposite. And the one that touches it is the adjacent. So I've got to use sine and cosine. So sine of 18 degrees is equal to my opposite, which is y, over my hypotenuse, which is 25. Cosine of 18 degrees is equal to my adjacent, which is x, over my hypotenuse, which is 25. So to solve for those, I just got to times both sides by 25. To solve for my y and to solve for my x, I times both sides by 25. And so now it's just a matter of plugging and chugging. 25 sine 18. So my y value is 7.725. And my x value is going to be 25 cosine 18. And I get 23.77. Just using trig. Here's my last one I want to do. So solve for the value of x. For that angle, that is my opposite, and I have adjacent. Well, the trig ratio that uses opposite and adjacent is my tangent. So I know the tangent of 75 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is x, over the adjacent, which is 3.1. Times both sides by 3.1. Those go away, so I'm going to get x is equal to 3.1 sine of 75. Excuse me, 3.1 tangent of 75. And then I get 11.57.